beautiful morning and welcome to another edition of Daybreak Africa on KAFTAN television. My name is Miracle Odunayo.
Top of the morning to you once again. You're welcome to Daybreak Africa from our studio in Ondo State, which is the sunshine state of the nation. A very beautiful morning as well. And my name still remains Ikhonede Joshua Adeji.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning.
How was your sleep?
I slept, I woke up. I don't know what happened during the night. Yeah, thank you for asking. People ask that question all the time and they're always worried about my answer. I tell them I slept, I woke up. I don't know what actually happened.
You don't know what happened? No dreams, no vision.
The last time I had a dream was maybe when I was hungry. I slept hungry. I was looking for chicken chips and I was on TikTok, so I was scrolling and there's this bitchy on TikTok that used to post food and all that. So that food, I dreamt of eating it in the night. At first I thought maybe they came from me.
Village people.
But then I just remember that there is scarcity.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that they are. Because they used to bring food before when I was small.
You don't know
but they stopped.
They bring food for them again.
They stopped. I don't know. Things are costly. Things are very costly. And then we are in the ember months already. So definitely they won't bring. I know that maybe by January they might resume. And I'm telling them they should start bringing the normal sacrifices they bring. That one will not work again. Make it good. Bring good tea, good food. Attractive.
When I see it, I'll be like.
So that when I eat at night and I wake up in the morning, even if the pastor says someone is doing me, I have patience. I chop this one.
This one is different.
It's different. And I'll drink water to it. I think they should even bring water, bring juice, bring a lot of things. I will appreciate it, honestly. It's good. But that's the last time I did.
I feel like you are setting the table before you in the presence of your enemy.
It's not in this cold weather, someone will be giving me bad dreams because I wonder. Nigeria is when you wake up in the morning, you are seeing dreams.
You are seeing dreams all around.
So please, just let me be at least that night. Let me not shut up. I don't know what's happening. Once I'm done with it, I come back up. I go along my business. Because what dream you don't want to give in this country? You go out there, you are saying terrible things, either the good or the bad and the ugly. So what else again? That night, let me just know that I'm resting and I'm sleeping. Exactly. Simple as ABC. Exactly. So I don't really know what happens in the night. I've stopped knowing what happens. Sleep, wake up, fresh, and cool. And that's how things are supposed to be. Because by the time you are leaving home now, you are going to work. It's another
wala for you.
But this, not really wala for me in that process because you know, at least for some of us on the media space, we can still though there are some. Because I was just calling friends and I saw. Heard terrible things about some of the things they were experiencing in their working places, some extremely delayed salaries, some the way their bosses called it. There was even one that we were just together and at the bar. I think that was some weeks ago on a Friday. Imagine 9-10 p.m. and the boss was calling him and saying that there's one of their clients that is around this place that we need him to just quickly go there at another club entirely, and they want him to go and sit there, you know, talk to him based on them investing in their. And I'm like, bro, after this is 10, and they would like, you know, opportunity comes but once. Sometimes it's good to do the extra, but if they reach one point,
the extra will become
where the extra is becoming complicated. Yeah. Because I asked him a question: what if as you move now, you die on the road? What happens? That client will still live. At least there should be other means to. Though I'm not saying that, I'm not discouraging people from doing what they have to do. But then there are days where you should just know that I beg.
There are limitations to some things.
And at the end of the day, so even if you get those things, it's the high level, the boss at the higher level that might actually get the praise for it, and then you at the end of the day that did the whole thing.
Your reward is in heaven, I believe.
No, some can even recommend you later, but that depends on when they can actually recommend you. I think I was saying Ife Dayo's post one particular time, and she said she almost did something like that. I think she had a boss that really understood. I saw her story.
They had to just book a flight for
her. And on the plane, she was able to talk to the client. You know the funny thing? At least she got some good recommendations at her office. But the funny thing was that the next big opportunity she got in her life came from the same client she met in the plane. Not even those that work with her. You see this life, you know, balance. I'll be looking at this actually today on Daybreak Africa, especially things that has to do with toxicity in workplaces and how to just salvage your way through it. But before we get there, let's take the reports for the day. After the reports, we get to this. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the show. Just Genesis to Daybreak Africa, and yes, it's time to go straight into our discussions for today. Today's going to be taking a new turn, and the actual sense we'll be looking at something that, well, we know social media has trended this topic months ago, weeks ago, sometimes people still talk about it in the side level and all that when you check about the trends, but this is something that is a topical issue, especially in a country like Nigeria as we speak. And yeah, it's talking about toxicity in workplaces, and its effects on humans' creativity and ways to salvage through it in the actual sense. If we talk about toxicity, we're talking about an environment filled up with negativity and unhealthy behavior, in the sense that depresses people and in the long run downs their creativities and make them feel uncomfortable enough to just want to leave that place. You know why we all say that negative energy far away, stay far away, but sometimes your negative energy could be the place you actually get your earnings from, and many times you need to know means of the kind of effects it can have on you and what you can do to salvage your way through it. I will be looking at this with a medical practitioner in the house. She's actually a doctor of obstetrics and gynecology, but then aside from that, she's a very exciting personality with lots of infields into a whole lot of things which would actually excite you. And I'm very glad to welcome once again to the studio Dr. Olajide Oluwatomi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. A pleasure being here.
It's good to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And you're looking takeaway.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Like,
and so are you.
Oh, you understand. I think I need to improve on the way I give compliments to you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you're looking takeaway. I like the red in the actual sense. I think I like the red.
The silver.
Oh my God.
Thank you for coming.
As I say, it's always a pleasure to be here.
Yes. It's a great pleasure in the actual sense. But let's just delve deep a bit into our discussions for today. I think all of us, let me not put myself in that situation though, but many people are actually dealing with this issue called toxicity in workplaces. And I don't know, have you ever had an experience of being in a very toxic environment to work in the actual sense, and how has it been for you so far?
Thank you for inviting me once again. Talking about workplaces, I think I should thank God that I've been fortunate to have been in different walks of life. For example, I started working before I got admission as a young girl. I helped my mom to handle some of her shop things. So at some point, yes, I was into sales. My first diploma I got was from computer science before I went for biochemistry. Of course, I had to do IT before I went for medicine. So did I meet some kind of things like that? Believe me, toxicity can be in both directions, from bosses to their employees, and from the employees in a funny situation to their bosses. Some bosses too hate coming to work. Yeah, most people think it's always it has to be the boss
that is actually
to the workers.
Channeling it to the
Believe me, some workers can actually kill their bosses. So I always tell people, don't always think it is a one-way thing that is always the boss. There are some terrible workers too. Because I'll give you an example. I remember when I was working with my mom, and sometimes she had to give us some maids, because at that point she was the vice principal of her school. And then the maids did some terrible things to us. One example, and please don't laugh at us. We told her we were feeling cold, and mom was going to the market. This lady put I and my elder ones inside the freezer. What? Yes. My mom forgot something, and something just made her to come back home. And she was like, normally we go around her legs. Mommy was inside your bag, grab the bag things, and she was like, why is everywhere so quiet? She called for her, and she was like, and this was somebody that was kind of related to the family, this distant kind of cousin thing. And they're close, they're inside the fridge. She was like, yeah, inside where? And when they opened, they were so excited, mommy. In our mind, we're having fun.
But to
inside the
my mom did not. I just thank God for her reaction. She didn't spark at that point in time, but I remember vividly she packed the girls' things. And when daddy came, she just gave him the eye. Daddy could not even talk until after she was long gone. And she's very lucky mom chose that, because you can imagine a father hearing that 3 of his kids were put into a freezer.
I could kill you on the spot. I will kill you on the spot.
And should I say his eyes will literally close the door. So she just knew, 1, step 1, pack load, step 2, put her on a jolly way. Step 3, tell husband later.
I will go after that boss. You will come out.
So I remember how my dad was boiling, but there was nothing to throw the anger with. So he now used the anger to tell us, be smart. In short, I'm sure that's when it became his policy. Daddy now became so thorough with us that he even makes us to answer how. I'll explain how to you. Daddy, I'm sorry, but I love you so much. You fall a tumbler on the floor and it breaks. My dad don't spank you. He'll tell you, how did it happen? I remember he even made a song with my elder brother. He was like, Justin, he called him Temitokwede. How did this cup break? He said, I put so much soap down here. And while I was washing, my hand became slippery. Then when I was trying to put it, he'll say again that when I was trying to put it, well, first what do you do? I put too much soap. So that's that song. So in your life, you know not to what? Put too much soap and put it at the edge.
So you need to know the causes.
So it looked so brutal who dad was when we were younger, but now the problem I always say is that our parents then did not tell us why. If they did, would have appreciated, because they made us to figure it out. They made us to make some mistake twice, so we figure it out ourselves.
Yeah.
But you can imagine you beating a child and saying, the reason I'm doing this is that. Do you think the child will do it the next day? No. It will be that the child is testing you. Yeah. But also we're doing figureitout.com/org. This generation are very lucky. And they don't even carry and beat them. Oh. So yes, I've given you one example. The second example was when I was working in my IT place or house job. I had this very particular man that you can never please.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think I should talk any further. I think everybody gets that.
I get that straight.
All right. I would like to know if maybe there are some signs that when you see them at your workplace, then you should know that this environment is becoming toxic. Because some people blindly do not know, because they don't maybe it's the kind of person that this person is. Maybe you cannot just please this person, but they don't know. But I think there should be some signs that you will see as an individual that you know that, oh, this workplace is
going to take it easy.
Yeah, that's a very nice thing to say. But as I said, when we go into human behavior, I think psychologists try to like break it down into 4 personalities. I'm sure you've heard of things of melancholic, sanguine, phlegmatic, and choleric.
Choleric, yeah.
So these different kind of behavior carry different kind of display of attitude, and you can't handle each kind of attitude the same way. So at some point you will figure out that that boy that is being so aggressive, having do this might just be choleric in nature. Because one day you go to an occasion and you see him all so wonderful to everybody, I'll be like,
same man.
So you now realize that some people have to put something we call leadership attitude at workplace in order to ensure that productivity is 100. As I told you, sometimes it's not the bosses that are in trouble, that are giving the trouble. I mean, it's the bosses that are in the trouble. And then some people sadly are narcissists. They make you think you've done the right thing, but they just take pleasure in your pain. Believe you, no matter how hard you try, you might never figure them out until when you've had it. And some people might have ruined their own good behavior in the name of trying to match up with their madness. At the end of the day, you'll be the one being the wrong person. Because I remember in narcissist that my friend worked with, she ended up slapping him. And all the wrong things he did disappeared because she raised her hand.
To slap him. So immediately the whole thing was cancelled.
Now you slap her. So I tell people, as I said, that kind of person who derive in destroying people's joy, I call them joy killers. At least now he has a name. You will never figure them out, because they will always spank you, praise you, spank you, praise you, because your pain is their fuel. And then the sad part of it is that some of them will keep you so busy. I remember one of my friends that told me that she works from 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 in the evening. And I told her, so do you have long bridge? That long bridge is that she must carry her cooler to work. And like, did he write it down personally that the day she told him she wanted to buy something, that the eyes sent her the message
without talking?
I told you that some people are just designed to do it to you. It is you that have to figure it out. And the sad thing is that they will keep you in a place that they don't give you enough pay, so you know how to save enough to go to the next level.
So they keep you just on the same level.
Flat line. We call it flatliners. They will ensure that you think that they are your God and they are doing you a favor by giving you a day job.
Which brings me to this issue of it being the situation of multiple Nigerians at this particular time, especially in many offices, workplaces. Even though the government is talking about the place of minimum wage and all that, we know there are multiple companies in this country that don't actually pay up to the minimum wage. And when they don't pay up to the minimum wage, they still give extreme tax to the people. You know, I was in Lagos recently, and I discovered that a lot of friends of mine, you know, in my streets, the street I lived, I grew up in. So I went back to the street and discovered that 88% of the guys I grew up with, the same faces I saw, we are still in the streets. We are working in places, but they are still in the same environment. And I asked, they don't they pay you when they carry all this. And next thing I say, they pay not really rich, but we just want to keep ourselves busy. And places like that, there was one I was opportunity to see the way they operate. Boss too. There are sometimes the boss will even call them at 1 a.m.
At midnight.
At midnight, at hot hours, to do things that maybe that's why many guys do say you don't want their wife to work in some of these organizations that I would rather prefer, because I can't be under at the mercy of someone and my wife too at the mercy of another person entirely who takes out. Because sometimes a friend of mine came from my brother and said, don't they pay you guys for
extra hours,
all those kind of things? I'm like, they don't pay us for extra hours. So for the minute you begin to demand pay for extra hours, they'll feel maybe you don't want to work. Now, and that is the mentality of many, especially when they want to ask for their rights. It's as if I'm doing you this favor.
I said that earlier.
You might lose your job.
You might lose, and they feel if you lose the job now, people will still come to get the same job.
Exactly.
Now, how do we see this kind of work environment toxicity that is occurring across organizations within the country?
Now, as I said to some of my friends, that this is so funny, because my very good friend who is in Abuja, she's also a hostess, wonderful lady, Ada. She got speaking, so I listened to her own fashion, and I'm like, this is something that I think starts with the basics. Everybody thinks that it's only charity that begins at home. A lot of things begins at home. Now, if your parents bring up a child that is timid and answers to anybody anyhow, what do you think that child will do when he walks into the society?
Definitely will
sit down there, he will sit down there. Don't move,
Don't move.
Then, how much have you educated the average Nigerian about his and her rights?
Which is another truth entirely.
Then another thing I tell people, you walk into a hospital, do you ask about the policy of the work? Oh, you're just happy, I am no longer jobless. Thank you. And then you don't ask deep into the question.
And they will do testimony in church.
And they give tithes on top of it. Because they feel they've gotten something that will stabilize them. And then you now realize your money cannot even pay your rent, give you school fees for your children, transportation. You know, did you say I brought down my voice? Because it's going high now, because everybody are trying to hammer for December.
December,
and then you've not even talked of feeding. And now the band 18 now came into some people's life.
This economy.
Some people say they did not plan. They were inside boys' quarter, inside band A house. I don't know whether I've seen funny jokes.
Boys' quarter, for
some people we are sad because one man cracked his like, how will I use 20k to on refrigerator when I cook 2k soup? Let that soup spoil. I had that. I was laughing about like it kind of like makes sense. So plenty things have happened to people that they don't even know what rights it's. So now I tell people now, because I have owned a business and I've paid people. So I always tell people this, because we had this argument about, don't mind us medical doctors, there are sometimes we actually want to keep ourselves engaged in extra income. So we go around doing maybe some extra jobs, or let's say filling some private hospital and stuff like that. And then people are now asking that, so place supposed to be covered for so amount of money. Nobody answered. The guy would now put it again. So place was supposed to be so amounts for money. People should talk now. So I say, are you sure you want to hear my voice? Another person now says, and me, I just spoke out as a businesswoman. I said, as an employer, whoever you're making as an employee should see it as a place of growth. Because the moment your employees don't see it as a place of growth, they will steal from you. They'll sabotage your business, meaning they'll say, we don't get them here. They might have it to say, but go to that shop. After stealing from you, they'll sabotage your work, and if you're not careful, they might kill you. We've seen it now.
Yeah, happens multiple times.
We've seen it. So I said, wait, if you look at it in the sense of being someone who has the fear of God, I don't like using the word religious, you will know that even God himself allocated
some portion of the tithes and offerings to his people.
And even the priests that were inside the church, that were supposed not to farm and do everything, those were the Levites. Those were the only ones that didn't necessarily need to raise an arm, but every other tribe of Israel had something doing that will give them their income. And they were so smart that if you're doing dedications, God even knew that there's those who can bring the sheep. And he knew there are those that couldn't. So they settled for what? Turtle doves. And very good.
There are some that they used wheat meal.
Good.
And all that to pay.
To compensate. Because God knew that, okay, in the society, there are different cadres. And then we come to, we human beings who are lesser than God, and we can't even think God like. So it scares me. Because I always tell people this. There are some institutes, as you said, that we use people over the night. And I tell people this. This is all I have to say. On the 7th day, God went clubbing, right? God went clubbing. Or God went farming. What did God do on the 7th day?
He rested.
So anybody who is not giving his employee rest we all know whose father he is. He must be the devil. I'll proudly say it. Because that's the Bible that said it. And then, for the Quran, it said it there. I think it was one of the Surahs. It said that God gave night as a covering. And sleep for rest. Why he gave money? That's the daytime for livelihood. So that's why I said all fear of God institute, I don't like using religion as I told you, has this place for rest.
Very important.
So anybody that is not balancing that, I'm sorry, I've told you who you are.
But we've seen a lot of CEOs and all that say, there's this high competition in many, let's say in the commercial space. Talking about the fact that many companies competing with this, your competitors are there, so they want to always meet up with targets. They want to be at the head of their games. So they always tell their workers, I need you to work extra hours, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, and all that. And sometimes it seems as if, even though the competition, or let's say the vision or mission of the company seems valid, but the level at which you're taking it is already getting to a point where it's putting too much strain on people, and you people just want to make gains. I was talking recently about some kind of institutions in Nigeria that you guys put your people on target. You made them bring in millions and billions to your institution, but their salaries never went up. Their rest hours never. I know many people that are working in those companies that they just wear suit and tie.
Now, can I tell you why? That's exactly why I told you that we don't believe in rights and policies. Now, when your policy say that you're supposed to come to work from 8 o'clock and leave for any animal, for God forgive me, because you wrote and signed, any animal calling you after 4 o'clock must be a beast, a wilder beast to be precise, because I think those are the ones, that's the only animal that they added beast to the name. So when you know your policy is, you're supposed to come to work 8 o'clock, so by 7:45, you coming early is kudos to you. And no, you knowing that you close at 4 o'clock, you closing 4 or 5 is praise to you. But anybody calling me from wherever I am, asking me for extra hard, I think that's when I'll look for a pastor in my life so I can lay his hand on me. Because I think that'll be the only thing that can cure at that point of time. So that's why I tell people, always know your rights. Always go to the policy of your work. Know what your work should cover. Like me in the medical line, when we go, we do ask for something that we call our salary slip. It gives you a breakdown of how you got the money you're being paid. In it, you see teaching allowance. In it, you see your call allowance. So you know you're being paid for. So if you're not doing calls and you're getting that money, it must be someone having long legs. But if you're doing calls and you're not getting that money, good, you know that you have to speak up. And when you have a structure of pay, meaning if you're so level, this is the amount you're having. So it will not be that they employ 2 of us, then because she's more beautiful and she's getting more workers, you now give her 10 naira. Then because me, I'm a little bit older and I don't marry and my breasts don't drop, you now give me 5 naira. Of course that will cause strife. So those are the things I tell people. Have you known the policy of your work? Do you know what the limit's supposed to be? And then as for the things about target, I say we have to be realistic. You can't tell me that over 1 month you want me to bring 1 billion to your company. It's either you're asking me to be an armed robber or a prostitute. There you go. And then there's another thing I tell people that Nigerians have. We are the cause of our own problem. We are here now all complaining about the money is bad, when I now go and stand up and say the money is bad and they resign me. One of my brother she got the message. One of my brother will sit on my chair immediately. He always say don't mind her. Ingrate.
Because he wanted the seat.
She has the man.
which is one of the things I think I see with companies. There's this competition to always want to be.
We call it professional jealousy.
Yeah.
It's not competition.
And so I've read books. I think there was a particular time. I was a Mafia Manager I was reading then, which was talking about a bit of office. There was a point in the book that was talking about office politics. And I'm like, hey, politics inside place, all of us supposed to be to work together and think together. And there's this competition. I want to be the CEO. I want to be the head of this. I want to be the head of that. And some people go extra miles. Some goes into things they are not supposed to do. Some will lie at you did the work together, and they will lie in your face. And I'm like, there was a time I had to shout at a time at a particular company and said, there is no throne, no. We don't have a kingdom yet, and we are fighting for throne. When there's no kingdom, let us settle the kingdom first.
I remember an experience I had when I was in my house jobs days. There was this guy I used to do work with. They will send us to do things. I'll now do it. Then you now come down moment and do as if you did it together. So they now sent us to get something. Or they now sent us to do something, write a presentation and stuff like that. So and solve a problem. So I now set up the stage and I left. Dude, now I sure you said you've been doing all this thing, blah 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 blah. Boy, now became confused. He could not set the PPT. He could not do anything. But you've been saying, because he was ahead of me, there's something in medicine that even if 1 second you come before the next person, you're automatically the senior. You've been saying this, that. Boy became confused. He even started stammering. So I now decided to be the one to come around 11 o'clock. What happened? I said, sorry, I had a little tummy upset. Now I set up this stage, so they now saw me doing my thing. And they were shocked because they didn't expect girls to know how to put PPT and put on the PowerPoint. It's a guy thing. So then I did everything. I'm like, okay, go ahead. The mic is on. This is this, that. They just got the message immediately. So all this why?
You've been scamming us.
So he was so quiet that day, and he kept on giving me the eye, and I didn't care. I was like, oh well. Sure, you don't show yourself. Did I call you Steve? I didn't call you. Did I insult you? You just showed yourself. I learn they say do as we do as seniors now. Practice what you are preaching, my brother. I'm sure he can see me wherever he is. So there's always a lesson to learn. There's something, as I said, called professional jealousy. It's real. It exists right from medical school. I don't know how they do it here in Nigeria, but I was outside. I read and compete with India and Pakistani. They made it very clear that it's a normal thing for them to do, to sabotage
whatever you're doing.
So I was fortunate that, not only did God give us the opportunity to be intelligent as black people, and we are more dirty. That's what the whole world don't know. We are more nasty. The lashings our forefather got is still inside our DNA. So we all know what it means to be beaten, and we never be. I think that's why we're that smart. We can't imagine ourselves in a ship again. So they won't understand how resilient a normal black man is. So I always make sure I prove a point to them. I love you, all my Pakistani and Indian friends. About it again. So that's it.
Alright, before we move on, actually, we would like to go on a short break. Then we'll be joining Go Start. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Alright, welcome back to the show. I hope you enjoyed Go Start. I hope you learned one or two things from Go Start. And I hope you're going to do something with what you learned from Go Start, because it's one thing to learn, it's one thing to do. And I think the last time I read my Bible, it said, blessed are the doers. Above the hearers. Blessed are the doers. So please, as you learn, do. It's very important as you're learning. Do what you're actually learning. But we've been discussing about toxicity in workplaces, and we've been with Dr. Olajide Oluwatomi, and we've been, in fact, enjoying the whole discussion over time. And I think the last thing we talked about was the place of, this office politics, you call it jealousy in offices and all that. And I want to ask a bit of the psychology of man. I want to just delve a bit into psychology of man, because sometimes I feel many of these guys that have these toxic behaviors in the offices, I don't sometimes believe they are usually like that. Okay, I don't know. What do you think prompts people to get into that demonic, like you termed it, that demonic phases of their life where they just become like the devil in human form, to a point that they make office environment unbearable for both their colleagues, their bosses, or even the boss to their colleagues. Like you actually postulated that many times it's not just the bosses that are the ones that are the demons. Sometimes it could be up, down, down, up. Because I've seen a woman that, it was over time I began to understand the fact that the reason why she was that way was from home. Before she comes, the husband, no joy. There was no joy and all those kind of things and all that. But there are some that I don't just understand. Some are not, some are even not married, but there is still no joy, nothing. Like, I don't know. What do you think is really happening?
So there's something we call coping mechanism. Now, the fact that some people, as you said, the issue might be coming all the way from home. So a woman who is being depressed at home is given the mantle as a leader at work. Of course, she wants to exercise some kind of power. So she might manifest as a very terrible person just to reflect the anger, or to dish out the anger from home at work. Secondly, as I say, some people are just born that way. There are people that are just narcissists. They enjoy pleasure from people's pain. And thirdly, it's from previous hurts. I told you, I had an experience of someone who started a business, and then his boys now decided to sell one, take one free. And the man looked into his stock and he was like, am I feeding you? Am I feeding my family? So the next people he employed, oh my God, you need to see what he did to them.
So they were just suffering from the sense of,
So some bosses have this attitude based on what they have experienced. And some don't even want to try again, try to believe in human being. I call it trust issue. I too had a problem with that because I was telling someone that the first time I gave my heart to my salon is because I did a little bit of salon work. And I put some of my items I got into the shop because I was selling some hair cream I got from my friend. So she sell it cheaper for me so I can make my gain from it. And all of a sudden I found out that she intentionally tell them that, come with your product. Do this, do that, do that. So one day I came quietly. She didn't even know I was sitting among the customers. And then I saw her even bad-mouthing me. I was very quiet. I was impressed. And she was wondering why the customers were not talking back. So I came the next day and asked her, I was like, so, laddie, what is it I actually did to you? I want to understand where your hate from me is coming from. She's like, what do I mean, madam? I said, you know, I was sitting down with, I called the name of the customer, this, that, and she was shocked. She was like, no, she was just stalking. I said, you are just stalking. But you know that if these people didn't know me, you've given them an impression of me. You've given them an impression of this place. Do you think they will want to tell their friends to come here? And she now started crying. That she didn't know it was just talk. And I had to tell her, Bible, at least I can defend Bible. Bible said there is power in the tongue. It's what you use your mouth to say that can actually happen. Now, not only do you succeeding in insulting me, you also showed yourself that you're a very petty human being. So as you are trying to paint me black, you invented your own stupidity. Because in that your own talk, she even went as far as saying that she's still managing. So you are now a manager of bad thing. So let me give you the honor and the favor. In fact, start coming to work 10 o'clock so you can go and look for that work elsewhere you're looking for. So you can look for that better boss that is better than me. And then I give you 1 month to find it. After 1 month, if you don't find that job you're looking for, you start your work again at 8 o'clock and you close at 3. Because I have other things to do at night. I was also like running my work and work. So I didn't want my parents to really know that I was doing other things aside from school. She's there crying. So sometimes I tell people that actually you're right. Some people actually don't know what they do. Because I told her, I told her even the cry, I told her to do it. And when she now went around, listening to what other people are saying, so someone even tell her she's lucky she's bringing food for you. You're even lucky that you cry and she even gives you extension. Blah, blah, blah. She now came back up. I said, me, I always see people as human being first. I don't take the fact that I'm a medical doctor. Most people get embarrassed when they find out I'm a doctor after they've displayed their stupidity. And I say, that is what I want to see. Because once you now notice that I am this, you now want to take yourself higher to one. No, show me the animal in you so that I know how to handle it.
So I was about going to I would like to know about the impacts of these toxic environments on employees. You know, sometimes it's not usually easy for people that, you know, experience it. You know, people giving it might not really feel it, but people that is taking it is the one that usually take the bad side of it. So what are the impacts of this toxic environment, workspace on employees? Does it make them not really give their best, or some other things that we should know?
Okay, so I always tell people that I was happy to find out that someone went as far as doing research that does negative psychology, that's you always bashing people, bring about positive outcome. And I was glad to see the answer. The answer is capital No. Even the Bible said, encourage one another to build each other up.
So only encouragement can build.
Thank you. So there is no need for you bashing anybody to get good results. Instead, what people should do or think about is, what is the problem? You know, there's a saying that knowing the problem is halfway solving it. So identifying problems should be anybody's policy at work. Identify the problem. That's why I like things like the suggestion box and stuff, so that you don't even have to appear there physically. Your notes can do the talking for you. Because why do people come up with a suggestion box? Because some people become timid. That's one of the impacts of a toxic workplace. People lose their self-esteem. You notice someone who came into a workplace very vibrant and promising end up being
extremely timid, quiet,
a shadow of the person's self. I have experienced that, so I can fully give you that. It can even work on your mind that you can even become depressed. And you don't even want to know what depression can do to a person physically and emotionally. Aside that, it can also go to lead to poor productivity, because you can imagine someone who is not thinking right. Can the person think for you as a boss? Most people don't know that. So there'll be low productivity when it comes to the productivity aspect. And then for the mind aspect, you have things like depression, low self-esteem. And then you now have lashing out. Some people now will end up becoming lashers because they feel they are no good. So since I'm no good, my kuku show you within IBB. Yeah. So you now see someone who was somewhat a quiet human being now becoming a gorilla or a baboon or a lion at work. Odogu is now here. Someone that could not even say, my name is now saying, if you come here, I'll go choke you, stab you. Because at the end of the day, I told you there's something we call coping mechanism. And everybody has their own. Some people will go into a shell, while some people will come out with a knife under their bed. Yes, it will no longer be under their bed, you'll be holding it. So, aside that, it can also affect futuristic plans for the person. Because instead of the person now, as I told you, that's where the trust issue comes in.
Come into play.
Now, instead of the person now becoming positive, as in, I came to KAFTAN TV and I learned how to be a better presenter. I learned how to talk. We end up being, I don't know if it happened to me. I don't think I want to work with anybody again. No. In fact, I could just do my deal. I'm not going to even open that shop again. So it will not affect it in the sense of if the person becoming productive. I came to KAFTAN TV. I would like to make Tomi TV, which will now employ more people because believe me, graduates are graduating every year.
Every day, yeah.
And who is employing them? So that brings us to why some bosses remain that way. They feel, I'll tell you another quick story. There was a funny experience I had when I was doing my youth service. I saw some very nasty boss. Some people will invest on coppers. You know why?
Why?
They pay less.
Yeah, that's a trick. That's a trick. That's a trick.
So instead of now to work in an office where people will come to learn, you see people experimenting. I used to call them laboratory sciences because it's in the lab that you mix this and this to see that what it will create. So each year they'll be, this batch of coppers, they didn't do well. I say, God catch you. Someone's supposed to be supervising them, not them creating. They're not yet meant to create.
They are meant to learn and mentor under someone.
You're now doing experiments on your poor customers. I say it's just like you meeting a tailor and the tailor say, I know how to sew a ball gown. And when you come, you see short knicker.
What I ordered was what I got.
Oh my God. I be wondering why those things are happening. We are the reason why. You act like you're a technician who can make a program, and then you now be running from the people you've collected money from.
Okay.
And it's December. We are getting there. This is their area.
Or is it an employment that was telling her tailoring people, you must so before December, so, and then they kept on collecting, and then when they now start sewing. They became in church because they were doing all night. They were doing service.
And no matter what, it's going to be affecting us.
What are you telling me?
Sleep.
I said I gave him 1,000 naira to give me 300. Because I was saying 700. He collected the 1,000 naira and gave me 700. I had to hold it like this. I was showing him. Because I told God forbid, I will not, you own the world. I will not be stealing change. You get. So I held it like this and I was showing him. He didn't even understand what he was like, I said, this is how your mother will now slap you. And the circle will continue again. She said, be careful. But look at what you just did. Where is your mind? As I was telling some drivers, I remember when I was even driving, the man was just moving out of the road and saying, the driver driving was not like, see this Olajide. I said, don't insult him. As you're seeing some people, their mind is not in this country. Some people are in Ghana. Some people are in Jamaica. Some people are it's just, I say very soon they should just be projecting hologram in our workplaces. Because our mind is not just in the country. And why? Because everybody is stressed from work, home, church, everywhere. Stress. And of course, as a medical personnel, I can tell you that cortisol will do things to you.
But in that kind of situation whereby we work in a toxic environment, in a toxic workplace, what can be done? Should the individual leave or just endure till the end?
Live or endure.
Live or endure.
Now, if I tell you, people might be mind blown. Do you know out there's actually a psychological aspect of your workplace? When you're having issues with your thinking and your memory, you can actually ask for a psychologist, a psychiatrist to see you at work. Do you have one?
No.
Now, that is why we had guiding and counseling in secondary school. Can you remember that?
Yes.
When you're having problem with your peers, what you choose to work. Because in every aspect of life, people will see things differently. It's just like, I remember when I was talking to a very good person who I see as my father. In fact, it was my CMD. He took a calendar and he showed me that what do I see, and he placed it on, this triangular calendar. And I was gladly telling him that I'm seeing a man. He now said that will I believe that he will gladly say he's seen a house? And I told him yes, it's possible. Why? I said because there are two sides to the calendar. He said exactly. So why me I'm seeing a man? He flipped his side and it was a house. He now told me that someone will look under and say that it's color green he's seen. Another person will see on top and say it's spiral but him is seen. And we are all right. Only if you can come together and put the picture together. Then we're like, we're looking at a pyramid. I'm sorry, I didn't know that it was a man you were looking at. Why me? I was there busy looking at the house, and the other one was looking at his pyramid. Someone was looking at color green. And then someone will say, I've seen a tunnel. Because if you stand at the edge, it's not a tunnel you will see. So, how can we solve the problem? Should you just always run? No, that's why I told you. Always ask for policies in the workplace. Always ask for feedbacks. And that's why I like places that always give this end of months, hardworking person, this year, good person, this yearly, monthly kind of. It shows that it pays to be productive. And it also gives back for feedback.
But many have talked about that. Sorry to cut you there.
No, go ahead.
Many have talked about it that sometimes it's even in schools today, you see that they don't even put positions for children anymore. In many schools, they just put your percentage there. And they even give awards to failures. To failures in the actual sense, saying they are trying to encourage them. And people have talked about it also in working places that, putting those kind of things makes people to be more toxic. They will think maybe the boss is favoring this person, that person, and all that.
Now, to be frank, when I look at those things, I laugh because I say they are very laughable. Why will you encourage failure? God forgive me. Even the Bible does not tolerate it. And I don't think the Quran tolerates it. I don't think I've seen it anywhere in the Quran or any religion.
Tolerates failure.
You failed. That's why there's repeats in class. My cousin had to repeat, and she did not understand until she finished. And she was like, imagine my father, because he had hands, allowed me to graduate, and I didn't know how to read. Now, what a big fool should have been when she was put in front of people, and she cannot say, hi, my name is. So you can't encourage failure. Now, when it comes to giving an award, don't you nominate? So how is it your boss giving Mr. Sapele best awardee? It is all of you who come together and nominate. I honestly think Mrs. A worked hard this month. And everybody will think so soon. I think he dressed best this month. It might not enter his head and you forget next month, and then another person will now outdo you. Good, and then so. That's why I told people, that's why there is not only Coke in the market. You have Fanta, you have Sprite, and then to make it worse, there is now Pepsi, and there is what? Mirinda, and there is what? Limca. There is now
Biggie Apple.
You will now pick what you want. It is not by force. I remember when my friend, I was like telling her that, I'm going to leave the state. She said, I cannot leave. Why? I'm married and I have kids. That is what's keeping her back. She has a reason. Yes, she has a reason. She had a probability to earn more money, but she looked at it. By the time I go this far and leave my kids, and they now fall in the house of one special house help, who will now jump on them, and then it's your camcorder that will show you.
You don't need a special house help, so there are multiple ways to it.
But the question I ask her is that, no, tell me the truth. Why didn't you leave this job? She goes, because the man understands her. Sometimes you come late, you say, school runs. You say yes. How many bosses?
You understand that.
So there's some workplace that will help you build. She told me that it's a matter of 5 years. Junior will become in SS1. Junior will be able to now take care of the younger ones. Then she can think of maybe doing a master. And I looked at her like, wow, that's a progressive plan.
True.
Won't she give champagne to that boss to tell him, thank you for being part of my life? Then there'll be some bosses. Yeah, let again.
Whereas they should understand the peculiarities of each workers.
Like I like it when of recent they just, God bless our world leaders who thought that now women should take 6 months off after they give birth. There was God forgive me, one foolish boss who gave his people 1 month. Some women are still bleeding. And he expected, yes.
1 month.
It was a private working place.
In this country.
And I remember how she was so confused. That her baby is so small, she doesn't even know who will feed the baby. First of all, we now force feed the poor child. As in, because, some mothers will get pissed that, the children did not eat their, what's this? And some children are like that, they just don't feel like eating that day. Some teachers will now resort to eating the food so their parents.
Yeah.
These things that happen in this country. Either ways, let's not go there. So at the end of the day, solution simply creates rooms for 1, award for good behavior. 2, identification of problem. 3, implementation of structures and room for change. And then allow room for flexibility. Men don't give birth, women do. The day I'm happy I'm a gynecologist, the day I put a uterus in man, then we are evil. So that you can say I am pregnant and say, he's pregnant too. You can't, I always tell people, it's not like we are trying to be preferential. There's something we call threatened miscarriage. That is a woman who has stressed herself, and if she doesn't take a bed rest, she'll lose that child. Is there any threatening thing in a man's body? Let's just tell the truth. Threatening for
our heart will be fragile. That's why we don't have
right
hypertension.
So sometimes it's not necessarily a woman's fault. So I said, please. And then some men will not think it's not the way I was thinking. I thank God they are not stimulators when they put the menstrual cup on some men. And some men say buy roses for their girlfriend. I'm very sorry. That menstrual tract, I thought it's just a paracetamol that'll take it away. I know it was this deep. Yeah, that's why I thank God for simulators. I don't know if you've seen them online.
I've seen them online. I don't plan to use
Yes,
one.
so people stay appreciating us, you can imagine.
I don't need to feel your pain. I know you pain.
That is what even came about the push gift. That when a woman gives birth, a man gives her whatever she wants. That's what brought about it. Because they put a simulator on some of them and they were like, man, this one, try for me. Because I always tell people, when you tell a girl you love her, you're just saying, I might potentially kill you. People are like, why harsh? Some people don't come out from the labor ward.
Yeah, true.
So your love you is...
You're putting my life in danger.
Here you go. And some men will never say that.
So definitely across genders, I think I like the place of room for flexibility. Because I was talking to someone who happens to, we checked a video together on social media about a Gen Z, CEO in Lagos, who says his working place is trying to ensure, these new guys coming into, fintechs and all that, and he's trying to ensure that everyone working in his working place will have flexible time of works and all that. Looking at the transport, he doesn't want anybody come to his working place stressed mentally and all that. And someone was like, no, you need to make people well disciplined to bring out the expertise in there. And I'm like, looking at, but then sometimes some people might abuse flexibility. And aside from that, I'm looking at this issue of, there are some that psychologically they have been damaged over time from home, from the kind of bosses they learnt. There are some guys that did apprentice with. There was a time I took someone to go be an I remember that, okay, thanks to maybe a place like KAFTAN Television now, I came in as a core member. Now, this is my own personal story. And I don't know, I've not even spent a few weeks. I was already holding cameras, holding this. I just remembered my experience in one media house when I was doing my CWS or IT then in Lagos. And we saw the whole thing, how programs were going on. But the only thing we were doing was sweep the floor. Go and buy me Amala, go and buy me Eba. So by the time my peers entered media too as well and became bosses, that was the first thing they were doing to people that came to learn from them. Go and buy me this. And sometimes you go to people that they are learning tailoring, learn this thing. The first 8 months, those guys know nothing. They just know how to go and buy zip, go and buy this, go and buy needle, go and buy thread. They know nothing. And some from home, they are already damaged mentally. So whether you give them flexible time, give them this one, they won't still make good use of it because of the kind of ideology. Some have just known that once you get to that working place, even the kind of teachings they receive from their religious houses, once you get compete to get to the top, because the top is your and they are not adding anything to the company.
Now, can you see why I told you there's no only charity that should begin
at home? Other things to fulfill.
Now, I get to that point, that story you told me, and I tell people it happens in all occupations, not just the apparent kind of work. Because there's this mentality that once I train my boy, he might become better than me. And that is the boss's fear syndrome. It is something that bosses don't want anybody to know about. That you see a younger one who will do 10 times better than you, and the next thing you do is that you're pressing him. And I tell people this, and that's why, God forgive me, I told you I had issues with Christians at some point in my life. I said when Jesus Christ left, he told his disciples, you do lesser than me.
No, he said you do more.
No, I just wanted to, I wanted you to say it.
Way more. Greater things than I did.
So I told people, so why is Lazarus still being buried? Yeah, because Lazarus did 4 days. I'm sure Jesus wanted to show you how far you could go. If I could do 4 days, you should be doing 40. How many people have been buried this month? If you want to go there. So there's this boss fear syndrome. I call it BFS. Most people don't want to talk about it. Most people don't want to know it exists. In fact, the moment you talk about it, your boss becomes afraid of you. Like now, I'll give you an example. Imagine as a medical doctor, learning how to do CS, knowing how to, that's to save babies, or knowing how to do myomectomies, that's to remove the fibroid, knowing how to do cone biopsy, that's to save women from having cancers of the cervix. And then I go and open my own shop. Do you think my bosses would be happy? To be like, I'm going to collect some of his patients. So, of course, he will tell me, I don't think your hand is strong enough, that last years you do it was very bloody. I don't think you're ready for the next years. I think you should stop it for a while.
And he knows you are very good at it.
It could happen. So don't just think it's just in the tailoring shop, because by the time this girl know how to do, she just find that it's just and cuts the neck properly. Once she knows how to cut, that is it. She has become a star. And that's just it. And the funny part of it is that all these things we are talking about, they are right there on YouTube. The white man doesn't even have the time. The white man is now concerned about competition in the sense that it is healthy. We believe in competition in the sense that it's very, very unhealthy. I'll give you an example. The telephone we're enjoying, if you remember the story of the telephone, the one that, yes, I'm sure this generation doesn't know, that's something we used to do, Zruka. Do you know that 2 people came up with the ideas, but only 1 person got the name? Do you know how many times it took Faraday to create the light bulb we are enjoying? Good, he knew the story. It was almost 1,000 times. He failed 1,000 times. And guess what? He kept on writing and also telling the people who are under him, we did it like this time. Let us know what we're not going to do the next time. So not only was he teaching himself, he was teaching those working under him. So he told them, I'm going to write a book, 1,000,000 ways not to make what? A light bulb. Won't the others also write their own? Because they were right there with him. So there's something that bosses also do. As I told you, it can be bosses to the workers and employees to work. Now let me show you the employer's envy syndrome. When you now see your boss driving his Jeep, adjusting his tie, coughing while he's carrying his bag with his coffee into his workplace, walking in 3 hours after you came, mopped his floor. And you forgot that he was also once a student who had to pay his way to school. You don't even know who he fought to get to where he is. And you're already sniffing because he's now wearing a 20K shoe, and that is your salary. My friend, wake up and work harder.
I mean, it's still the place of work harder, no matter how you want to put that.
Because I told somebody, there was this, God forgive me, there was this guy, real life, my very good friend. I don't care if he's watching, I won't call his name. We were all looking for employment at one point after I finished my biochem, before I went for service. And he now started laughing at me. I was like, why are you laughing at me? That me, I just think like man, that they think of different ways to make money. That me, I come here, you see something. And what do? Do you know these idiots wrote all our names on a book of paper? You know the phone just came out recently. Today, you now text you. I never chopped today. You sent 2K. You now text her tomorrow. Since it's hard for me, you now send 2K. This is how we go until all the lists finish. Then to give him like a span of 3 months, then he repeats. That was how he was earning his own salary.
Wow. That's creativity.
Wow.
That is legalized laziness. Because imagine the day she will now say, I don't have money. What will happen to you?
Move to the other person.
And that other person has now figured out that every so time and so months you used to come. We are linked, my dear.
Because we all talk.
We all figured it out now. By himself, he now came out. And I told him that, see, all of us knew we were just having mercy on you, but we now realize that we are ruining you. Go and learn how to catch your fish. Exactly. Go and learn how to catch your fish. I told you, I can bake. He was laughing at me. I can bake, I can sew, I can do hair. I'm a medical doctor, and I'm trying to be a barrister by God's grace. The only time you stop, I guess, for me is when I stop reading. Because in it, I told my mom as a child I was in choir, so I can sing. I was talking to his very good friend when we came here. I can act. One of the favorite things I like to do as a child, I can dance.
I will sometimes tell stories.
So there's no way you will dump somebody that you should not learn to be 2 things. A humble servant and a kind boss.
A humble servant, a kind boss. I picked that. A humble servant, a kind boss. Let me hold that one. An humble servant. I think let us end it here. We end it on a high. And I think that's the perfect way to end this discussion. Yeah. A humble servant a kind boss, no matter the situation you find it. Maybe I should add one. A humble servant, a kind boss, a hard worker.
Well, thank you for being a part of this show.
Thank you.
We are so grateful.
Pleasure.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. So guys, we are going to be going on a short break right now. We are going to be joining sports, so stay with us and be right back. Welcome back from that break, and I hope you guys enjoyed the guest segment that we had earlier, and most importantly, sports, because it's your season currently, especially you. Because
I know. I'm a sports fan. Leave that one. Leave that one for us. When people are watching Big Brother, watching all the and we are just enjoying international break, because of no sports, I intentionally did not go much to parties last week. And even now, weekend is coming back again. We are getting back our league games. We take our phones to sport houses We'll watch ball.
Even in church, you can imagine. You can imagine.
There was a day I was ministering one day, and Barcelona was playing. You know I'm a Barcelona fan, so I just held my phone. I was just like checking through, and I was to preach. And as I was preaching, my mind was just where what's happening. And
you know the Bible says that you cannot serve two masters at the same time.
Yeah, he said Mammon and God, not football and God.
Oh,
it was specific.
Wow. That's good. That's good.
Someone just did from Father. In fact, the way the joy.
The preaching was just coming.
We sometimes go watch ball. Even we can be in parties, our friends' wedding, celebrations, everything, and we could be watching ball on the phone and still, while the lady is doing everything, I'll be shaking head and all that. And sometimes we discover, we shout go. There was one that the person that was even singing had to go check his SP code. And okay, if my ticket is still come. Imagine the money he was supposed to pay his band. He's still investing it in bet apps. I don't understand what we are doing. Well, I understand everybody in this country is looking for money.
Exactly.
So one road does not lead to the market. Exactly. But I think it was a very productive discussion in the actual sense. And I think I like the end parts. The humble servant.
And the kind boss.
The kind boss.
And you added your own, which is the
hard worker.
The hard worker.
Very important.
Very
important.
important.
The new word today is that be a smart worker in the actual sense. But I think that smart work sometimes, you know, the way some people already say, first more fraud. Clear like that. But then smart work too is very okay. That is if it's illegal. But then, you know, the kind boss, the humble servant, which is something everybody needs to learn. As a servant, or you are into service, maybe you are an employee, you need to learn to serve properly. And when serving, I think there was one, I can defend the Bible a bit, because maybe I know much of the Bible. Okay. There was a part in Ezekiel that says that even though the same scripture that said, woe unto you shepherds, still said, woe unto you sheep. That same scripture, I think that was 34. And it said, because you sheep, you have been toxic towards each other to a point that the food that was meant for your second sheep, because you are a strong sheep, you trampled on it and did not make the weaker sheep eat of the same thing. So the attitude you have towards each other is very terrible to us. So the humble servants, you can also be a kind servant too towards your fellow, and the kind boss, which is very, very important, because toxicity will always affect us and will down creativity and make us depressed. Well, thank you once again. Well, tomorrow is going to be a very productive discussion to us all tomorrow, and I'm very sure that you will love the discussion. Yes, you will love, even though it's our entertainment segment, but you're going to love it. And yes, till we meet tomorrow. My name won't change. Definitely, my name will still remain. Ikhonede.
And my name, Miracle Odunayo. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.